Welcome to Let's Co-op. Today we're looking at Overkill's The Walking Dead. It's a co-op shooter. It's made by Overkill, who also made Payday 1 and 2. It's not a Left 4 Dead clone or a Payday clone. It's a game in its own right. The game itself, you have a base and your job is to protect it and also go out to find resources and survivors. Sort of a survival gathering management game, only more based on stealth/action part, followed by minimalistic resource management. You got 4 characters to choose from, each with their own special traits and skills. The characters do resemble some from Left 4 Dead a bit. If we start out with Heather, she's a scout, she's specialized in crossbows and pickaxe, and she has smoke grenades. Aiden, he's a tank, he's specialized in shotguns and bat. He has a stun grenade. Grant is a tactician, his special is sniper rifles, and he has a stick to hit people with, and he can make molotovs. Maya is support, she's specialized in SMGs and machete, and she has a medpack. All of the characters can have any weapon you want them to have, but they're better at using the specialized weapons. So even though Aiden can use an SMG, it works better if Maya has it. Then you have the survivors, people you pick up on the way. They got 2 uses. Well, 3. One of them is using your resources. But the other 2. Missions, you can assign them to missions where they can get resources and sometimes gear for you. And you can put them to work, which helps morale and gives you some bonuses, as you can see here. You got a home base. This thing is a little bit weird because nothing happens here. You do sometimes have to go here to continue the story where you have to talk to a person, but you have to load a complete map to get a short message. It's a thing they've taken from Payday with your safe house, but I can't see the reason for it. Let's go to the story. So the story is there are some story missions and yeah. So basically, there are story missions, there are some temporary missions that pop up, and some continuous missions, basically horde mode. The story, to get back to the story, well, to follow the story you need to play the story missions. But it's not a guarantee that anyone joins your mission, and in the beginning you're too weak to do it yourself, especially if you don't know how the game works. I myself walked into the first 10 booby traps before I found out what was happening more or less and what to look for, but they are still annoying and you'll walk into traps by accident all the time, no matter how much you play it. To get back to the people has to join you or you have to join people, you got 2 options. Choose one of your missions, hope someone else is playing them or someone joins you, or the often used one for me is the random game button, the quick connect. That's the best way to catch some people playing. Let's go spec it up a bit. You need an average PC to run it. These are the minimum requirements. This is the recommended. So with that, how are the graphics? The graphics are not amazing, don't get me wrong. It's fine, it's like when Payday 1 and 2 were released. It wasn't top tier graphics, but it's pretty and functional. And since there are a lot of zombies and soldiers, relatively big maps with lots of interaction, so it's okay. A thing that helps the game but can be a bit annoying, it's dark. It's almost Doom 3 dark. So it could be kind of fun to see how the game would look if you played it in daylight. The audio, there's a little music. Some sounds. Weapons. Voice clips.
Weapons jammed! Wasn't gonna let you go down like that.
The last one, the voice gets annoying. It's all those short sentences the characters yell, all of them, the soldiers, the people on your team. It gets annoying, but the audio in general is somewhere between decent and okay. I feel explosions and unsuppressed guns needs a bit more oomph to make you dread using them a bit more. There's a noise meter that fills up and the guns sound kinda weak, and so do the explosions. The difficulty level is really hard to quantify. An unlucky normal run can be more difficult than an overkill run where you get a bit lucky. If you don't like these kind of games, I guess it's less than 4 hours. If you love it, it's more or less endless, depending on how long before it gets too repetitive for you and how long they make DLC expansions, which might be not long since Starbreeze has filed for bankruptcy. I've played maybe about 20 hours and it has become pretty grindy and repetitive, but it is addictive fun. The gameplay itself is enjoyable, though it gets repetitive fast. Good things. It's addictive. That can be a bad thing too. It's kind of exciting. It's a good co-op game. There's a lot to explore in the world. The maps are, as I said, big, and sometimes some paths open and other times some other paths open. So it's pretty good. Here's a so-so genre. It's something between good and bad. I've not run into any game-breaking bugs, only small, insignificant ones. And since it randomizes the map and content, it's probably hard to avoid tiny bugs. The bad, there's no story mode, and it's hard to figure out what the story is because you can't just follow the story missions in a straight line. You need people to play with, and that's not always possible. Another bad thing, your team gets disbanded after each mission. That means if you find people, do a mission, then afterwards you can't go on to the next mission or anything, you're sent back to the map, which is a problem that they don't have in Payday. You can just choose the next mission. A big flaw, and this is with all Overkill's co-op games and a lot of co-op games in general. Connection interruptions can cost you hours of careful work. I've lost connection to the leader of the group at the countdown at the end of a map and then lost all progression, and some maps are pretty long. A good thing here, you do get experience even though you fail the map, but the thing is, if you've been in a map and for some reason go out, you don't get anything. The mission I was talking about with your survivors, the NPCs, let's say it takes 2 days, then you do a mission, which takes a day, or do 2 missions, and then they're back and you can see how it went. But if you lose connection and get thrown out of a mission, it does not count in any way, so that can be quite annoying. And one more bad thing, I mentioned it before, it's really dark. It's almost too dark. You can get better flashlights and stuff, but I don't know why it's this dark. The DLC hell, it's hard to know what you can play and what you can't. I haven't got the deluxe edition, so I don't know if it gets repetitive and it uses the same maps over and over because I don't have any more, or if it is or isn't like Payday where if you join a game online and they play maps you don't own, you can still play it. So there's the DLC hell. I don't know how much of the game I have. Is the game repetitive because I need to pay more? The last bad thing is the fact that it's most likely dead due to Starbreezer has gone bankrupt. Price-wise, the deluxe is or was way too expensive. My conclusion, though, some parts look like Left 4 Dead and some parts look like Payday. It manages to mix it up, use the things from both games and make it something very different and pretty unique. If the game survives, I say it's fun, it has good ideas and pretty solid co-op. As a co-op game, I'll give it an 8. It has flaws and issues. It's a competent and really good co-op game. So if you like this video, feel free to subscribe and like it. It's up to you. Have a nice day.